Hey everyone, it's your good buddy Chip here, and today I'm going to give you an update video that provides some new information related to my video from several months ago. That video was entitled 2025 will be a pivotal year in the Pittsburgh music scene. So I did another video in the first quarter with some updates, and so consider this your second quarter 2025 update. Now, one twist this time is that I have brought my whiteboard with me. And I brought it with me for a couple of reasons. First of all, I think that using some visuals will help clarify some things to people who may have misunderstood some of my comments in video number 1. And then second of all, I think that seeing progress in a tangible manner makes it feel more real. You know, I think that seeing that we are taking steps forward as a music scene will only help to breed more optimism in our scene. So if you're ready, let's do this. So back to the whiteboard. All right, so in the red column, we have a list of some things that our scene has lost in 2023, 2024, and early 2025. And in the green column is some things that we've gained in 2025, or at least since certain things were lost in the red column. So as a point of review, in case you haven't seen that first video, I'm going to go down the red list. And then we're going to be adding some things on the green side and a couple of things on the red side as well. So let's begin on the red side. And first of all, in that time period, we lost the Black Forge Coffee House as a venue. We've lost Subalpine as a venue, Cativo as a venue, Club Cafe as a venue, and Hard Rock Cafe as a venue. One thing I mentioned in my first quarter update was that we did get a new venue called Haven in the Oakland section of the city. That seems to be attracting the same demographic that Black Forge did, so that has certainly helped stem the losses that we felt after Black Forge left us. Continuing down the red list, we saw that the Deutschtown Music Festival, as it was then known, sort of went away under its original 3 founders, but 2 of those founders came back with the Northside Music Festival. They really didn't miss a beat. That festival had gotten fewer bands. I don't want to call it downsized though. I would call it more streamlined because I think that having 400 bands in the Northside may have taxed the infrastructure a little bit. And the Northside Music Festival with fewer bands maybe creates a little bit of a more comfortable experience there. So, that is kind of a trade-off. I've been to the Northside Music Festival after it emerged from the ashes of Deutschtown, and I gotta say, had a fantastic time. And I'm planning on being there again this year. Next up, Rock for Life at Iceland Ballfield. That was a long-time home for the Rock for Life concert series. A dispute between the organizers and a new owner led the Rock for Life people to seek out other venues. They have gone to other venues, and this year they'll be having their signature namesake concert at the Raindrop Inn. Whether that becomes a permanent place or not, I don't know. But Rock for Life is resilient, just like the people that they support with the charitable donations. So, really great organization there. They do wonderful things, and looking forward to them to continue succeeding regardless of what venue they are at. So that, that's another transition, something that was lost. I know a lot of people liked Iceland Ballfield, but Rock for Life, the people that create the event and the experience, are still going strong. And then also there, I have Hometown for the Holidays. That was a program by 1059 The X. And every December they would play 10 local bands in regular rotation. That did not happen in 2024, but it was not said whether that'd be permanent. Fingers are still crossed that will come back in 2025. Honestly, one of the greatest programs for local music, most impactful programs where 10 bands could all ride a rising tide. So hopefully by the end of the year, they will be in the green column as a return, but obviously have to acknowledge that. So now there were some new losses in 2025, we would just get those out of the way. We'll do, it's good news, bad news. We'll get some of the bad news out of the way first. So a venue that had been around a long time, the Smiling Moose, has finally decided to close its South Side location. They had been kind of on again, off again with bands over the last few years, but definitely had an iconic run on the South Side, bringing live music, specifically the harder edge music, to the South Side. So I'm going to add them to the red column. Okay, so there we go. We got Smiling Moose added there. And then another thing that seems like a loss, I say seems like a loss because I'm going to clarify this in just a moment, is Edge of the X. Edge of the X was a program on 1059 The X, weeknights at 11 p.m., and they would always play two Pittsburgh-based bands. That whole show was emerging new music, and it was curated locally, and I again had local bands on it. That appears to be replaced by a program syndicated nationally called Emerging Alt. So it appears that being able to hear two Pittsburgh-based songs in that 11 o'clock hour on the X has gone away. It's been kind of an unceremonious thing, but again, give me 1 second on that. So I'm just going to add that to our red list here. Edge of the X. And actually, I am going to address this sooner rather than later. I'm not going to go through the whole list and allow it to wait its turn, because the people at the X, the people at iHeartMedia, WDVE, I can tell you I love those people. They are passionate about not only music in general, but Pittsburgh-based music. So what has seemed to be happening, and again, this is lacking any formal announcement, but just something that I've noticed, is that now Pittsburgh bands and their songs are popping up during daylight hours on the X. And so that's kind of cool. There's, I don't know if this is a permanent thing or if they're testing it or what have you, but yeah, like, you tune into the X during the day, and now you're starting to hear Pittsburgh bands at times that you wouldn't hear Pittsburgh bands. So even though we lost that reliable time slot, this has the chance to actually be better for Pittsburgh music. Having music played during, the hours that people are most likely to hear it. So, RIP Edge of the X, but this could be a positive thing for Pittsburgh music. So I'm going to put on our green column, regular rotation on the X. All right. So, that might be a net gain for us and not a loss. All right, so fortunately, those are all the new losses I have to report during the second quarter. But fortunately, there are some gains, and I'm going to talk about those. So again, regular rotation on the X, potentially big. Another thing is that there was an event last year at 222 Ormsby called Fitz Fest. I didn't attend. I have some friends that played there. It appeared to be a benefit for someone who the scene had lost. So, it appeared that would be maybe a one-time event. But it looks like Fitz Fest 2 is happening this year. So that's great news. Anytime you could see a concert series coming back for a year or two, potentially being an annual thing, being a potentially great new tradition, that is a positive thing. So I am going to add Fitz Fest to our green side. All right, what else do we have going on? Speaking of Ormsby, there is a new DIY venue that apparently has popped up on Ormsby Avenue, and the venue is called the New Low. I believe it's under the Ormsby Cafe, just a block or two from 222 Ormsby, which a lot of us are familiar with. And it looks like they're getting some shows in there regularly, so that is great news. Haven't been there yet. Hope to get there this summer. So I am just going to put that on the same line as Subalpine to kind of show an offset of that. So here we have the New Low emerging. Okay, so we're getting more green here, people. Another new venue, sort of, it has become part of the Mr. Smalls empire. And it just opened as part of Millville Music Festival, which I did attend. That venue is called The Sanctuary. Now, from what I understand, and this is secondhand information, is that this venue is going to be reserved for things like performances during meet and greets for bands that play across the street at Mr. Small's Theater. But it was open for local bands to play during Millville Music Fest. In fact, I saw Poster Child there. By the way, I love this shirt. I think it's like one of the most creative local band shirts I've ever seen. And by the way, Poster Child was amazing that day. They sounded amazing in the Sanctuary. I've seen that band so many times over the past, I don't know, about 5 years. I can sort of remember masking requirements being in place the first time I saw them, so that tells you how far back we're going. That was the best I've ever heard them sound. Fantastic band. Highly recommended that you go see them. So anyway, back to the Sanctuary. Poster Child sounded great there. The venue looked tremendous. And maybe they'll have local shows there. But even if they just use it for Millville Music Festival for local bands, it's an awesome, awesome addition. So I am going to put that where Hard Rock Cafe is. Kind of show an offset of that. Just because I don't have a whole lot of room in this column now on my whiteboard, because there's a lot of green things being added. All right, so we got Sanctuary across from where Hard Rock Cafe is, and more green being added. Looking above Hard Rock Cafe, though, we have Cativo and Club Cafe. I understand that Cativo has a new owner, and they've started having shows under the name SideQuest. Haven't been there yet. Hope to get there. So Cativo, the loss of Cativo, is directly offset by the emergence of SideQuest. So that's cool. And the big news of these that you probably have heard is that Club Cafe has been bought out by people who want to continue it as a live music venue. And as I understand it, it is going to be called Club Cafe. So we will put Club Cafe across from where Club Cafe was in red. All right. Keeping going here, one more thing that I'll add for this update is related to something that if you've had to have been around the scene a while to know. And that was the Pittsburgh Music Ecosystem Project. If you haven't heard of that, it was around 2019, I believe. There was some money that came through some not-for-profit organization that funded a study of our music scene here in Pittsburgh by a consultant from Austin, which of course has one of the most notorious and well-known music scenes. And this consultant prepared a report called the Pittsburgh Music Ecosystem Project that analyzed our music scene and made some suggestions on things that could be done. It's been a while, but my recollection is that it wasn't well received. If someone wants to help our scene and there's any ideas to improve our scene, just one idea to improve our scene, I think it's worth considering. And other people apparently have that thought as well, because a group has decided to revive the Pittsburgh Music Ecosystem Project, and they are having a meeting, I believe at the Pittsburgh Winery sometime in June, maybe June 11th. You could search that up. I really should have been prepared and had that ready. But they are looking at the consultant's report and looking to implement some changes. I am sure that this will again stoke some scrutiny, but I hope that it doesn't just crash and burn. I hope that at least one good, sustainable idea emerges from this. So we'll see. But it's worth considering, and it's kind of interesting that all those years ago there was this idea. Some people today still believe in that idea, and let's see if we can make it work. Maybe I'll even do a video on the Pittsburgh Music Ecosystem Project itself. But I will add that because I think that's something that has a lot of potential here. So adding Pittsburgh Music Ecosystem to the green side there at the bottom. This whiteboard looks a lot different than it did when we started, doesn't it? It's kind of amazing to see the things that are happening. So that's pretty cool. One other note that I will add, just because I mentioned it in my last update, Beast of the Burg, which is a annual concert event that I curate, had another successful year, set a new attendance record. It was an amazing time at Mr. Small's Theater. I will be bringing back Beast of the Burg 4 next year, looking to increase attendance again. Really want to set another attendance record. It was a beautiful night of seeing Pittsburgh music fans rally around the area's harder hitting music all under one roof. So looking forward to that. So yeah, there's our update. If you were discouraged by all that we lost in the last couple of years, I really hope that this whiteboard drives it home that we're gaining a lot. And by the time 2025 is done, imagine what we as a scene can accomplish. And this could be not just a pivotal year in Pittsburgh music, as I had predicted at the end of 2024, and that has obviously proven itself out, but this could be the best year ever in the Pittsburgh music scene. So, let's keep the positivity high. Let's rally together. Let's realize that a benefit to the scene is a benefit to all of us. And let's keep our heads high and keep making great music. I feel like there's a lot of people that will be listening to Pittsburgh music and hopefully discovering the scene that we have here, so that it can only grow not only within our city limits, but nationwide, perhaps even worldwide. We definitely have the talent here to do it. I believe in you. I believe in us. So let's make awesome things happen, Pittsburgh. So probably until a third quarter update, I'll be signing off and hope to see you out there at a show.